Excuse me. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be jumping into my everyday makeup routine. You know, I think most of us probably have like those products and that routine that we go to when we need to just run out the door, or we're just doing something that's just everyday life. And we can always like zhuzh that up a little bit and add a little something extra, or we can tone it down a little bit as well if we want to. So without any further ado, let's jump into the video. Drink some coffee first. If you have seen any of my previous videos, which up to this point have only been a few, but you'll notice that the background is different. So for a few different reasons, we switched around my setup and what the background is and all of that. So this actually just makes it a little bit easier for us and for when we have guests, because this is our guest bedroom. I'm actually really enjoying this background though. I think it's a lot cleaner and simpler. And if I'm looking to the side, I'm looking at the monitor, but I actually really enjoy this setup. I don't have anything on my face except for my skincare that I put on this morning and some chapstick. Some days I'll put on primer, some days I don't. It depends on how long I'm going to be out and about or whatever it is that I'm doing. But one that I reach for a lot is the E.L.F. Poreless Putty. So I just like to put it primarily in my T-zone area where my pores are the biggest. I definitely get really oily throughout the day, and I just like to help those pores out any way I can, and under the eyes. It just helps the creases under the eyes a little bit. Thanks to my husband when he picked out my makeup in one of my previous videos. If you haven't seen that one, I will link it right up here. One of the products that he picked out for me was color corrector, and I hadn't used it in quite a while, and I just forgot about it. And it's not something that I have really ever done on a regular basis, but whenever I have like some extra red spots, I do find that this definitely helps. Sometimes concealer doesn't always totally cover up really red like acne spots for me, and for some reason every time I want to sit down to film, zits pop up. So today I am actually gonna cover a couple of these puppies up. It's a little bit too much right there. Oops. Just spread that around. So yeah, that's definitely not something I do every single day, but when I need it, I do that. And it definitely helps cover up some of like the super red spots. So then next, I usually jump in with foundation. The foundation that I've really been loving is the Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. I use the shade Linen. I have been loving this foundation. So I'm just gonna squirt it out on the back of my hand. If you don't know what this foundation is, Believe Beauty is the Dollar General makeup line. And everything's, I think, $5 or under. And for $5, you guys, this is a really good foundation. Just for like everyday running around, I don't necessarily always need or want, excuse me, full coverage, like full coverage. You guys know how it is. Some days you're just in the mood for more coverage than others. Now I'm just trying to use up what's left on my hand. I don't necessarily care if I have more coverage, but just trying to use up what I have. Okay, so that's it for foundation. Some days I don't want concealer, other days I do. I typically go in with the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. These are nothing new. They've been around for quite a while, but I have two shades. I have 095 Cool Ivory and 115 Warm Light. Cool Ivory I'll use if, you know, I want to really brighten under my eyes or like down the center of the face or something like that. I don't necessarily care for that every single day, or feel like I need that every single day. And then Warm Light usually is the one that matches my foundation and skin color. And this is what I'll use to like spot conceal. Honestly, some days, like if I don't have a bunch of breakouts or anything like that, and I just want to tone down the redness and not have a lot of foundation on, honestly, I just go in with this guy. But today I'm just going to use this to conceal, and I'm going to do a little bit under the eyes with this one and on top. My eyelids get really red too. I'm just going to take a little brush and blend that in. It's really hard to see this side of my face because of the way the shadow is and like where my mirror is. You would think with the ring light right there, but it's really not that easy. Okay, so I hope I didn't miss any spots where I put concealer. I think I got them all. I hope I got them all. Let me know if I missed any. But yeah, I mean, some of them are still peeking through a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a little more put together. So next I'll usually go in with powder because, like I said earlier, my skin is usually pretty oily. So I pretty much always powder my face. I wish I didn't have to. I would love to have less product on my face. If I'm in the air conditioning all day, maybe. But if I step outside, forget it. Forget it. Not happening. It's melting off. The two powders that I've reached for probably the most consistently have been these two. So this is the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Foundation, and I have this in the shade, oh, there it is, Porcelain 10. And then this is the Covergirl Clean Matte Foundation, Powder Foundation, and it is in the shade 510 Classic Ivory. So these are the two that I have really bounced between and reached for the most consistently over the past few years, maybe 5 or 6 years. They're not the only powders I've used, but like I said, most consistently, these are the ones. So today, I think I'm actually just gonna go in with the CoverGirl one. Big, fluffy powder brush. Just twirl it in there. I love that both of these actually have mirrors, so you can just pop them in your purse and go. Okay, so next up is bronzer. I've actually really been loving the Bare Minerals Invisible Bronze. I have it in the shade Fair to Light. It's just a really pretty, try not to blind you with the mirror. It's just a really pretty tone for my fair skin. And it has a teeny tiny bit of shimmer. I think you guys can see that in there. Sometimes I'll use all matte. Sometimes I like a shimmer. Especially in the summer, I like a little bit of shimmer. Not a lot. A little bit. Again, this side of my face is kind of hard to see with the way the lighting is, so hopefully I don't get too crazy. Bronzer, for some reason, in this lighting is really hard to tell how much I'm putting on. And with my bronzer, I do like to kind of rub it into the hairline, just so that way it's not a stark white line where my foundation ends and my super pale scalp begins. So just right in that hairline. I don't always use like a contour product. Sometimes I'll use my bronzer like in that contour space or like up here on my temples, obviously to add like a bronzed look, but then also it helps with like the contour effect. So it's bringing warmth to the face, but it's also kind of chiseling or, you know, contouring those areas. And then I'll usually just go around with my big fluffy brush and I'll just kind of go around those edges. Make sure it's really blended and diffused because I don't want any harsh lines on my face. While I have my bronzer still out, I usually just go ahead and do my eyes. You guys, super fast, easy eyeshadow. I just pop on whatever bronzer I have on for the day. And I'll add just that same bronzer, just a little bit right underneath. So now that we're done with bronzer, got it on the eyes, got it on the face, then I jump into blush. It really doesn't have a name. It's literally just called powder blush. So I've just really been enjoying this Almay blush in the shade 20 Mauve. So I just swirl it in there, tap off. Sometimes if I'm just in a really big rush, I'll just do bronzer, but most of the time I do blush too. Then also, if I want a little bit more to my eyes, I'll just take my blush like this and just right in here. And then without adding anything extra on my brush, I just blend it all together. And then again, I'll go in with my fluffy brush just to make sure that I don't have too much blush on. So moving on to highlighter, I've definitely gotten into the habit of using highlighter pretty much every time I put on makeup. I just love it. I love a subtle natural highlight that I can build up to more of a pop if I want it to be. And you guys, a product that I found kind of by accident that I love for this kind of a look is actually the Laura Geller Filter Finish Setting Powder in the shade Universal. It's beautiful. It's not technically a highlighter. It's actually a finishing powder. So you're supposed to take it on a fluffy brush when you're done with your makeup, pop it in there and set the whole face with it, and it gives the face a nice, beautiful glow. And it has all the different colors in there, so it's technically supposed to be color correcting and give your face like this really natural, beautiful glow. Something is really tickling my nose. I hate that. I've definitely used it in that way all over my face before, but I love this as a highlighter. I can bring it up here a little bit so that I have a little bit of a glow without looking oily or like over the top. Oh, it's so pretty. When I am wearing makeup, this goes on every day. Switching back to the eyes, I like to take this, pop it right on that inner corner, drag it over to the middle of the eye a little bit, and right under the brow bone, right on that brow bone. I absolutely love that as a highlighter. Again, if I feel like I've gone a little overboard, then I'll just take my powder brush with nothing else on it and just lightly go over. But with that product especially, I don't really ever feel like I've gone overboard. All right, guys, so now all of that's done. Most of the time, I don't do eyeliner. I know, it's kind of weird. I don't really know why. I go through phases. But if I do eyeliner just before I run out the door, most of the time it's just a dark brown eyeshadow and a little liner brush. You know what? I'll just do it really quick. Hold on. So I just have this little tiny eyeshadow duo. So it's just got like a dark brown and like a bronzy shimmer. So I'll just take a little liner brush. Oh, that one's very powdery. Using the liner brush and a shadow, I'm not necessarily looking for anything too precise. So I'll just smudge it around till I get what I want. And then I usually just take my fingers and go like this, clean up the edges a tiny bit. So then the next step would be if I wanted to do anything with my brows. I used to only ever do a clear brow gel just to hold them in place because, as you can tell, I have plenty of brows. So usually a clear brow gel is enough for me if I need it. But lately, I've got a couple of little gaps in there. So I'll just take a little pencil. This one is the Maybelline Ultra Slim Brow Pencil. I have it in the shade 257 Medium Brown. And I really love that it has a little spoolie on one side. Because I just have a couple of gaps, I thankfully don't need to do too much. I just need to fill in a little bit. Maybe right here a little tiny bit. And then I just brush through that with the spoolie just to soften those lines, the smudges that I drew in there. Just soften it a little bit. And then that's usually all I'll do for my brows. I don't think I'm gonna do brow gel today. So then the next step for me would be setting spray. So right now I have two setting sprays that I've been going between. One is the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. And if I want more of like a glowy, less powdery finish, this is the one that I go for. In the summer, I haven't been reaching for that one as much. So instead, I've just been reaching for the other setting spray that I have. So it's the Maybelline Lasting Fix Setting Spray. So I just like to do my setting spray before mascara. Especially in the summer, I do not like to be shy about the amount of setting spray that I use because I need it to stay all day long. So for mascara, there are 3 that I've typically been bouncing between. If I need a waterproof mascara, which I actually use waterproof mascara quite a bit. I love the Maybelline, the Falsies Push Up Angel waterproof mascara. Love this one. I don't think I'm gonna use this today. I don't really need waterproof mascara today. And the other 2 are this Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara, so the green one, and the Catrice Glam False Lashes Mascara. I love both of these. Sometimes I'll do like just either of these on their own, or I'll do this one on the top and this one on the bottom lashes. And that's actually what I'm gonna do today. So that's it for lashes. So the last thing that we have to do is lips. I'm just gonna wipe off any foundation or concealer that's on my lips. Literally 90% of the time that I do my makeup, I just throw this gloss on. Hands down, this is my go-to. It lives in my purse. So this is a Julep lip gloss in the shade Splendid. It doesn't have a name for which lip gloss it is, but I have had this for a while and I love it. It's actually really the first lip gloss that I like fell in love with, because I don't like most lip glosses. Like they're too sticky, or they're too like, you know, like they make your lips stick together, and I despise that. I cannot stand it. But I love this one. It doesn't do that to me, and it has a little bit of shimmer in it, and it's a color that I just really love. All right, you guys, that is it for my everyday makeup. What is your go-to everyday look? What are your go-to products? Let me know. I'd love to find out. So be sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell if you'd like to be notified every single time I upload. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really truly appreciate it. I have a blast filming these videos, and I really hope that you guys find as much enjoyment in watching them as I do in making them. So I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching. It's gone. Sad.